Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
So do you guys remember that little chart that we had? And it kind of does this. And then a certain percent is like this much, and then a certain percent is this much. Well, that chart, you can look on lesson 80 if you want. We'll do that real quick, just so you have it. So we're reviewing this week and taking the test next week. So you'll have 2 days to take the test. And then that last day, the 25th, is a makeup day. So all right. So okay. So basically, we want to find out how many deviations 67 and 83 are away from the mean. So you're just subtracting. So with a mean of 82, so that means 88 minus 82 is 6 deviations. And then 82 minus 76 is also 6 deviations. Okay. So then you divide it by 2. So basically, if this is the mean right here, this is the mean. Divided by 2, divided by 2. Actually, we're dividing by 3 because it's a standard deviation of 3. Yeah. 3 divided by 3 equals 2. Okay, so then you have to look at your chart here and figure out what that is, which is kind of something that you're at the mercy of remembering. Trying to think of a better way to do this, but it's not really. So it goes down to here and it falls into this category right here, which is 95%. Okay, so you have to remember that little chart, and you can find that on page 566. Okay, so the options are 95%, it's the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. Okay, so your answers are either going to be 68, 95, or 99.7 rule. Okay, and depending on how many deviations you are away, you'll have to choose one of those percents. If you're really far away, so it's basically it's going to fall into this category, but you just have to remember that. Okay, so sorry. Okay, number 2, a bookkeeper charges $25 per hour of work and rounds the actual work time up to the nearest hour. So we'll write a function to represent the total cost for X hours of work. What type of step function is this function? Okay, so a bookkeeper charges $25 an hour. So you could say f of x equals 25x, okay, per hour, and rounds the actual work time up to the nearest hour. So write a function to represent the total cost of x X hours, okay? So X hours, so you're rounding up, right? So if you're doing from 0 to 1, so if it's like 0 is less than X, it's less than 1, then it's going to be 25. So if 0, if it's or equal to 1. So if it's 1 greater than 1 and less than or equal to 2, it's going to be 50, and so on. Okay, so this is your representing total cost for X hours of work. What type of step function is this function? Okay, so if you graph it, got 25 here, so from 0 to 1, it looks like this. From 1 to 2, it looks like this. Okay. From 1 to 3, it looks like this. Okay. So f of x equals 25x, but the step function is at least, it's just an integer function because it rounds up to the nearest integer. So we'd call this an integer function. If you don't get that part, that's okay. But at least you don't have to graph it, but writing the step function looks kind of like that. Okay. And then and really what they had is they had some brackets around the x, and basically your domain is x has to be an integer. Okay. So don't stress too much on this question. All right, find the inverse matrix of this guy. This is going back a little bit to lesson 32. Why not? Okay. So the way we do this is we have to find the determinant. So a to the negative 1 is going to be 1 over the determinant. So let's do that. The determinant of 4, negative 2, negative 5, and 5, all times. We're going to reverse the 4 and the 5, and then we're going to negate the negative 2 and the negative 5. Okay? So they wrote that wrong, didn't they? So see how they reversed the A and that should have been D over there. Well, anyway, we're multiplying by this matrix: 5, positive 2, positive 5, and 4. So you have to find the determinant, but you also have to reverse the position of A1 and B2, I guess, and then negate A2 and B1. All right, so let's do this. 20 minus negative 10 is 30. So this is 1/30th. 20 minus 10. It's 10. 20 minus 10 is 10. And then we've got 5, 2, 5, 4. And it's nice when you multiply by 1/10 because you're just moving the decimal over one place. So your final inverse function is 0.5, 0.2, 0.5, 0.4. Okay? Here's your inverse function. Now, the way you can test to see if this is right is multiply that matrix times that matrix and see if you get the identity matrix, which is 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay? All right, number 4. Let me just Make sure that's right. Looks good, looks good. Simplify the expression, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and so we're just going to make sure that radical is reduced. You can start reducing right away with that square root of 75, and then you'll probably have to reduce again once you multiply. What perfect square goes into 75? 25, right? So I'm going to pull the 25 out, becomes a 5. So 5 radical 3 times radical 6. So just multiply the radicals together. 5 radical 18, and then, hey, radical 18 is 9 times 2. So pull the 9 out, and it becomes a 3. So 5 times 3 radical 2. So final answer, 15 radical 2. You guys good with that? Okay. All right, number 5 is a fun one. We're going to graph this. Okay, y is greater than or equal to negative 2x squared plus 2x plus 4. Now here, you don't have to be exact, but I do want the exact vertex. And I want to know which way it's going. Is this going to open up or open down? Well, you know that right away because the x squared is negative. So it's going to open up down. So let's find the vertex. How do you find the vertex? Well, the x coordinate is going to be negative b over 2a. So that's negative 2 over 2 times negative 2. Okay, so that's negative 2 over negative 4, which is just 1/2. So if we've got 1/2 comma something, how do you figure out what that y is going to be? Well, you have to plug in that 1/2. This is a pain in the butt, but let's do it. So negative 2 times 1/4 plus 2 times 1/2 plus 4. So this is negative 1/2 plus 1 plus 4. So this is 5 minus 1/2 is 4.5. So that's my y value is at 4.5. So what does that graph look like? Here's 1, 2. So right at 1.5 and 4.5 is your vertex. It's going to open downward. And that negative 2 means that it's stretched vertically. Okay, so if it was just a negative x squared, it'd be just a normal parabola. But this one's a little bit skinnier. So it's going down twice as fast. So that means it's going to look like this. Ish. So just ish that as much as you can. And now we have to figure out where to shade it. So y is this symbol. So what does that mean on a graph? Are you going to shade? Where are you going to shade this? Well, there's only 2 options. Either on top of it or below it, inside of it. What's your gut tell you? On top of it or below it?
Below? It's negative?
Well, no, negative means it's just upside down. But this means greater than. So on top of it, higher than the graph. So you're going to shade right here. Okay? Make sense? All right. Number 6. Oh, number 6 is right there. Find the 18th term. All right, we got to use this formula here. So number 6, we're going to find that formula. They lay it out for you, which is nice. So a to the 18th equals a to the first one, which is 3, plus n minus 1, which is 17, all times your d. Well, your d is how much you add to each number. And since it's arithmetic, then it's going to be the same number. So you're adding 9 every time. So 17 times 9. Okay? And that makes sense, right? Because you're adding 9, 17 more times to get to the 18th term, right? So let's do that. What's 17 times 9? Well, 17 times 10 is 170. So 1 less 17 is 153, plus 3 is 156. Okay, it's nice because they give you the formula. Just plug it in, you're good to go. The only thing you need to remember is that D. That D is just how much you add to each number. So you're only going to have arithmetic sequences on this test. There's not going to be geometric sequences where you're multiplying. Don't worry about that. It's just arithmetic sequences. All right, number 7, find the area of the triangle, round to the nearest tenth. Okay. Okay, so they give you, what was that dude's name? Starts with an H. It's like some, I had a hard time pronouncing it. Starts with an H, but they give it to you. This is kind of, it takes the fun out of it. So I apologize that you're not having a lot of fun with this problem, but they give you the formula. This is like Heron's formula or something weird like that. But just plug it in. So first you have to figure out what S is before you can figure out A. So I'm going to write my formula here, my Heron's formula. And it's crazy how this gives you the area, but it does. So S equals 1/2. So it's kind of like a weird average of the sides. So add those all up. 34 divided by 2 is 17. So area is the square root of 17 times 17 minus 11, 17 minus 9, 17 minus 14. Okay, you guys understand what we're doing? It gives you everything. You just plug stuff into these formulas and you're good. So this is square root of 17 times 6 times 8 times 3. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so 17 times 6 times 8 times 3 equals 2,448. Okay, when you square root that, you get, let's just write that so far, 2448, which equals, yeah, 49.5. So we're, let's say it around nearest tenth. Yep, so 49.5-ish. It's like 49.47. So we're rounding it to the nearest tenth. Don't forget to round it to the right place. All right. Okay, cool. That was the area using Heron's formula, I think is how you pronounce it. So for those of you who looked at this test online before yesterday, you probably noticed that I uploaded some weird combination of practice tests 19 and 20. So Daniel caught me on that. So This is 3 pages long. The actual test is only 2 pages long, but I don't know why this was 3 pages. Maybe because of these dumb charts here. Well, who knows? All right, so we are on number 8. So write the equation of the circle. So this is probably going to be the easiest question on the test. Equation of the circle is just, if I write this first, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. All right, where h comma k is the center. So we have to subtract -2 from x, and we have to subtract 5 from y. So that's what we're going to do. X minus -2 squared plus y minus 5 squared. And what's the radius? 8. So this is going to be 8 squared. So final answer, x minus -2 is just x plus 2 parentheses squared plus y minus 5 parentheses squared equals 64. Okay, that's it. All right, number 9, logarithms. We're going to use the change of base formula, which of course they give you. Apologize if you're offended by that. Use the change of base formula to convert log base 5 of 3x to the 4th to base e. Okay, so we're going to use the change of base formula, which is, oh, they don't give it to you. Look at that. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. So if we're changing to log base e, which they don't do that. Why don't they do that? Okay, well, and evaluate for 7. So let's just do what they did first. So the first thing you can do is bring this 4 out front. So this becomes a 4 log base 5 of 3x. Okay, well then this log base 5 of 3x, that could be log base 5 of 3 plus log base 5 of x. So this is 4 times log base 5 of 3 plus log base 5 of x. Okay. All right, now we are going to divide by 4. Well, I mean, we can just leave it like this. It says use the change of base formula. I don't know that you need to do that. I think you can just evaluate it from here. Right? So log base 5, oh, yeah, that's why, because you can't do log base 5. So change it to log base e. So it's kind of a pain, but we're gonna do that. Can't remember the change of base formula, so it's real easy, but I forgot it. Look at 87. Okay, yeah, so this is just going to be log base e of 3, or natural log of 3 over natural log of 5 plus natural log of x over natural log of 5. Okay. I think they did it a little differently, but that's okay. So if you evaluate this, now we can with our natural log. So this is natural log of 3. I'm going to just do everything parentheses 4 times another parenthesis, natural log of 3. Where are you, natural log? Where are you? There you are. Natural log of 3 divided by natural log of 5, parenthesis, okay, and then this is, we're plugging in 7 here to evaluate it. So this is what you need to end up with. And then we're going to evaluate it for 7. So when you do that, plug all that in your calculator and you get approximately 7.5668. All right, so make sure you know that change of base formula. They don't give it to you. So the change of base formula, if you're changing log base 5 of 3x to the 4th, then it's just natural log of 3x to the 4th over natural log of 5. Okay? So you're just changing you're just doing this over this. So the natural log of this over the natural log of the old base. Okay? All right. Let's do one more, number 10, and then we'll do the rest on Thursday. So 24 names already numbered are listed below. 5 must be randomly chosen for a sample. What 5 names will be picked for the sample of? Oh yeah, this is the sample one, isn't it? So we're going to call this extra credit. Yeah, this is the one we skipped over. So this is extra credit. All right, we're going to do 11 through 20 on Thursday.